Okay, it's been about 6 hours, almost 6.5 hours since I fed the starters, and I wanted to show you what they're looking like. This is the white starter. It looks wonderful. This is the hybrid starter. This is the whole wheat starter. They all look great. So I'm going to start by making a loaf of bread with each one. A small loaf, it'll be like about 750 grams, and I'll use about 100 grams of the starter. We'll make all 3 loaves the same. They will be at about 68% hydration. I will let them bulk ferment for 4 to 5 hours, and then I'm going to put them in the refrigerator and we'll bake them tomorrow. Tomorrow will be day 14 of our sourdough starter experiment, and so it will be great. We'll see how each one makes a loaf of bread. So we will be using 100 grams of starter from each one, not 99. Of course it's 101. Okay, we've got 100 grams of starter there. And I will use the exact same ingredients for all of them. They'll all have the same ingredients. 250 grams of water. Also, I'm not doing an autolyse. We're just going to make a plain, simple loaf. 250 grams of water. Whoa, hey, I'm good. Got some really nice sea salt here. 8 grams of salt. Like I said, there'll be no autolyse on these loaves. We're going to do some plain, simple loaves. And 390 grams of plain, unbleached, all-purpose flour. I'm using the gold medal. So mix the dough up. Remember, I said it's 68% hydration. I usually get my hands in there. Well, I just should. But I have to do the other loaves as well. But I'll just get my hands in there anyway. I can turn off the camera and wash my hands. Not a big deal. All right. There's our 68% hydration white dough. And of course you can see at first there's no gluten development. It's just not stuck together at all. That will change in just a matter of minutes actually. Now we'll give those gluten strands a chance to bond, and I will go wash my hands and we'll make the next loaf. Now we will use the hybrid starter. 100 grams of starter. There we go. Show you how nice this starter looks. It's nice and foamy in there. 250 grams of water. Oh, of course it went down to 249. You knew that would happen. Okay, 8 grams of salt. stir this all up. And 390 grams of flour. Oh. Now we'll stir this one all up. So this one really just has a very small amount of whole wheat in it because it was the hybrid starter. Now as there's more and more of the whole grain in the dough, it will become a little stiffer because the whole grains absorb more water. Oh, that feels pretty good. Pretty well incorporated there. It's amazing. It has a slightly different feel than the white flour. It has almost like a slight oil feel to it. Now I'll wash my hands, find another bowl or container, and we'll use the whole wheat starter to make the last loaf. So we'll make the last loaf now. If you haven't made sourdough bread before and you've been following this series for making your own sourdough starter, then this would be a really good first loaf to make. We will use 100 grams of starter. Again, you can see how thick this one is. Nice and thick. And 250 grams of water. Let's take out a little bit of that. Takes so little to make a gram. Okay. We need 8 grams of salt again. Can't really take any of that back out if I put in too much. To solve that problem, I could just measure it in a small bowl first. But hey, I'm winging it. Now we will add 390 grams of flour. I think I'm going to stir this just a little bit more first. I don't want streaks of the brown whole wheat throughout the dough. I want it to be mixed in better. Okay. This loaf, of course, will have a little more color to it and stand up just a little thicker than the other 2 loaves. Here's the best mixer of all, my hand. See, this dough doesn't even stick to my hand as much as the other one did, or the first one. Okay, here's the whole wheat loaf. I don't know if I can fit them all in here. Here's the hybrid loaf. And here is the white loaf. Now you can see this one, well, it's got some gluten development already. Remember I said it would just take a few minutes? It's already got some gluten development. The gluten is now starting to bond. So it looks wetter. Here's the here's the hybrid loaf. It's also got some gluten bonding going on. It looks a little thicker and stiffer in its bowl than the white loaf does. And here is our whole wheat. And it's actually not whole wheat loaf, but it's the whole wheat starter that we used. There's not very much gluten bonding going on here because we just mixed this one. Well, just not much. So I will put all of these doughs covered. I'm going to have to put them in smaller containers, but I will put them covered in my proofer for the next 4 hours, and I will probably go ahead and fold them once or twice, and I will proof them at 75 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'll see you at folding time.